make me wait. By now I've met someone else and I want to dance, but I pretend that it's a friend and you still have a chance. You're probably...
So what we have here is a big old cluster something or other. This is by far the worst timber, the worst stick I've ever had come across my sawhorses. This is not one that I milled myself. My brother-in-law had 4 8x8, 16 foot long, or 18 foot long actually, under his deck next door for me. And the way he had them stacked under there, they've been under there for probably 4 or 5 years. He had them on pallets that weren't level. And this is what happens if you get the right timber. Now, amazingly, the other 4 timbers on the same pallets, they're pretty straight. One has a little bit of a crown, but not too bad. This one suffered pretty hard. So this one probably already had a little bit of a natural twisted grain inside it to begin with. But I don't have an option. I have to use it. And unfortunately, it's one of those things where I just cannot buy extra timbers. So this is what I have to do. So what we do to combat this, and this is going to look friggin' goofy in the frame. I'm not real happy about it, but I'm going to live with it because I need to, like I said. So what I do is I take each end. First I start in the center, and then in the center I put my level. Put my level in the center, and then I level it off right there. Because that's kind of really the way this thing is twisted. It's kind of, the center's about right. So what I need to do with that, you mark that center so you have a reference point, because you're going to be turning this around. You're going to have to level it again. I go down to the ends. I find my center in the ends, and then I draw level lines down. I get a vertical and a horizontal on each end. They're level. So what we do from there, we make a mark where those level lines fall, and you snap chalk lines. And a lot of this, there's going to be a lot of hand tooling on this one. So it should be a good time. Should be a really good time. But this is one of those things where at some point in your project you're going to come to a point where there's going to have to be something that you're going to have to deal with, and you're going to have to make a decision whether you can keep that timber or not. If this was any other project, if this was for somebody's house, if this was for my own house, this timber right here would be cut up into firewood because it's just no damn good. But right now I don't have that option. If I want to keep progress going, I have to use it. And I need this thing closed in. I need this done before haying season, because once haying season hits, there will be no time for this project at all for me. So this is where we're at. So right now I have my tenons laid out, and because of the way these fell, there's one edge of it, there's the other edge of it. It's quite a discrepancy there. And I also have my brace. My brace is laid out. Now, I don't want to have to do a bunch of chiseling in that queen post up there, so I need to get this down to a level spot, and then I need to go from there with my housing. So this is going to end up being almost an inch deep on the housing by the time I'm done with it. So stay tuned. I'll show you how we're going to cut this, and I'll see you on the other side of it all. Well, if you notice, all of a sudden there is a different timber on the sawhorses. That timber I started to work on, it was so bad I can't use it. That is the first timber on this entire project I have given up on. I don't normally give up on a timber because they're too hard to come by. But that was twisted to the point where there's just absolutely no way that I can use it for what I need here. What I can do with it though, I can cut it up shorter and cut it into brace stock, cut the twist out of it, and we're gonna do that with it as much as we can. Plus, you know, the one end had a little bit more timber weighing than I wanted on it. So I have a better one here, and I just, basically if I use that, it's so out of whack that, I mean, if it was just a little bit, what I was showing you with the chalk lines and the leveling, it would have worked just fine. But the way it is, it's just plain not usable. So I've got a nice straight one on here. We're gonna use this. I was gonna try to get this all cut up and ready to go tonight, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I guess we can work on some of it. I'll throw you guys in the time lapse, and I'll get done what I can. It's getting real late here. I stopped filming this right in the middle of it and did a pretty good live feed, and then the live feed kicked out, so we're back to doing this now. But anyway, stay tuned. We're gonna slip you the time lapse. I'll get as much done as I can tonight, get this laid out, trim down the size, and we'll just move on from there.
You don't know it, but I noticed you right away. You're pretty sure I will ignore every move you make. I'm tired of these rules, they make me wait. By now I've met someone else and I want to dance, but I pretend that it's a friend and you still have a chance. You're probably confused, but that's the plan. Come over, come over, come over to me. I'm over here, you see.
Well, what a long night. Like I said, that was that first timber we had on the horses tonight. That is the worst timber that has ever graced the tops of my sawhorses. That thing was twisted like somebody was wringing out a washcloth. But yeah, when they twist that bad, probably chances are that wasn't going to be the most stable timber in the long run to begin with. Now, especially in the other ones were stacked in the same situation and they're nice and straight. So, but what do? You know, that just means I've got to scrounge up one more 8x8 16-footer. Not a big deal. That's not going to slow us down too awful bad. But anyway, that's what's going on tonight. We did a live feed earlier tonight. It is Friday night right now, April 27th, I think, something like that. Half the time I don't even know what the date is. You think I would, you know, work orders and stuff like that every day, have them right on it, but not me. I just don't pay attention to that stuff. So anyway, if you missed the live feed, go check it out. It was a good one tonight. It's probably a little bit harder to watch after the fact because it's usually just me. I end up staring at the phone, reading the comments that my regular viewers are putting on there. They are so entertaining. They're fun. Those guys, fun group we have here. But anyway, we are working on trying to get the last couple of queen bents up. There's only 2 left, and I think I've got it figured out how I'm going to put it up. I will show you. We'll get into that pretty well detailed here because I think it's going to work out pretty well. I've been, tired. It's after midnight. Pardon me. But I've been kind of mulling it over in my head here a little bit last few days, and I think I've come up with a pretty good safe solution, which is the important thing. And so we'll see how it works out. We're supposed to get rain here all weekend. I hope it does not come true because I would love to get the last 2 queen post bents up and that means we're on the purlin plates. When we get on the purlin plates, we are on the home stretch. Those are the last timbers on this project, are those purlin plates. After that, it's just straight up common rafters, and it's gonna be nice. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll finish up this tying member. I hope tomorrow. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the weather brings. But if we can, we're moving on. We're doing well. Now that warmer weather's hit, we're really tearing it up. So thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to check out the channels in our collaboration playlist. This week we are shouting out Homegrown Country Homestead. I'm sorry, I always get that name wrong, and I don't know why. It's not like it's a hard one. So Homegrown Country Homestead is one we're shouting out this week. Homestead Handyman is another one we are shouting out this week. And Great Plains Craftsman is the third one we are shouting out this week. Give those folks a look, and if you're curious about any of the other small channels, check out that playlist. It is the collaboration playlist. I think there might be some folks on there that you would enjoy watching. I know I don't mind sitting down and watching any of them. So have a good one, folks. I will see you on the next one.